song is a fantastic song by Mr. Van Morrison. There's a couple great interviews of Ronnie Montrose where he talks about meeting Van, and I was surprised to find out as I was learning this song, he plays the guitar on this and does the lead and the rhythm. And they're really great interviews. I'm going to include them down below. He also talks about playing with Edgar Winter and doing the Frankenstein lick, which again, I didn't know he did that. So I've learned some new things, which is a great thing. We're in standard tuning. I'll have my notes below, so just click on that link and you can click on the download icon and have them for yourself. I've got everything figured out, even the horn solo. So if you want to jam the horn solo, it's not real difficult per se. So we'll get into the rhythm first. I'm going to go through the rhythm guitar. There's really two main guitars, sometimes a third overdub. There's really two main guitars, panned hard left and right. So we're going to go over the rhythm guitar because it's quite a bit different from obviously the lead. So we'll start with that. So for this rhythm guitar, we're starting out E minor, and we're going to move up to a chord inversion of E minor. You don't have to play the full chord. We can actually just shorten it. Since it's an E, we can leave the first string open. We'll play like an A minor, moved all the way up to 9 and 8. Alright, so the rhythm starts out from about the 4th string down, and then 2 up strums just on the 1st through the 3rd string. And there's just a little slight chukka. Alright, and then we come to this E minor, and we're going to do 2 upstrokes, a little deadened string, then 2 more upstrokes. Then we hit the deadened strings again, and we're going to move to a form of G. Up here at the 3rd fret, 4th and 5th. And these, we're going to hit it twice, and these are up strums also. Alright, so what we have so far slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just lay our ring finger down, catch 5 on the 3rd and 2nd string. Real bluesy move here. And then go to the 3rd fret of those 3rd and 2nd string, and we're going to hammer in to 4 on the 3rd string. And then land on 5th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so we have this with the up strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll repeat that 2 more times. There's just kind of an incidental hit of a couple open strings on the way to starting that over again. Alright, so let's go through this whole thing slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're into the verse. So that's the intro. The intro will go through one measure of it, and then you'll hear the other guitar come in with the rest of the band. They'll play through this. This really is the rhythm for the verse. All the verses, really. So we're going to be doing this E minor, and then you can add some extra strums, kind of go with the groove of the song, more like 2 down on the, something like that. So you get the feel of it. So just like the intro, we'll go through that with the twice. The third time through, we're going to only do the G lick once. Then we're going to move to our E minor again, and we're going to do an up strum. I'm sorry, down, and then down up, and then down, down. So it'll sound, let's take it, let's just do the whole third measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, at that point, after he strums the third time on the E minor, he moves to a C, hits that twice, then he adds his pinky to it. So you're going to hit it twice with the 7 down once on the 4th string back to 5. And then you're going to move that up to E with the pinky. Alright, after you hit the second time down with your pinky on that D, you're going to come back to this G, but we're going to do it much different. We're going to hit it down twice, then we're going to hit just the 5th fret of the 3rd and 2nd string, and then back. Alright, so we do that twice, and then 2 more times ends it. Alright, so it doesn't sound real cool there, but it's when you're playing in the rhythm. And that ends the verse. Alright, so we've got some more chord inversions here for the pre-chorus. For the pre-chorus, basically we're just going to play those first 3 strings open. It'll be a down, down, up. Then we come to a C, but we'll just be using at the 8th fret, the 1st and 2nd string, 9th fret on the 3rd string. 2 hits, then we add 10 on the 3rd string, and then twice again. Alright, so we have this. Alright, and then they go, get you flying. So at that point, the rhythm guitar will go and do this. Alright, so what he's doing is playing a D, and then he's moving to a 7. So he adds, it's just a D power chord through the 3rd string. But then we're going to take and add our pinky down onto the 7th fret of the 2nd string, and lift this up so we're no longer barring the 3rd string, it'll be barred at the 5th fret. Alright, and then we're into the chorus. Alright, so for the chorus, let me play through it, then I'll show you what we're doing. So basically it's a down, up, down, then a blank hit, and then again, that's with the E minor, then we're going to move up to C, D, another E minor, but really just play a power chord. He doesn't play the full E minor here, so we're just playing power chords, C, D, E, then back to our E minor. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Come back to our E minor for 1 set. Then we move to D, and we're going to do another set, and then go to our G to end it. So that is the chorus. Alright, now verse 2, just like verse 1. Then we have a pre-chorus, which is just like our first pre-chorus. Our second chorus is just slightly different. It's extended. So for the second chorus, what we're doing is extending it. It's twice as long, and the only difference is the first time we end it, after, let's say, our E minor, then D, coming back to G, the first time through the second chorus, we're going to do the lick. And then we'll go into it again. Okay, and then when we end the second time, it's just like the first chorus. All right, so that's the difference between the choruses. Then we're into the bridge. So at the end of chorus 2, you will hear the lead guitar come in. And then that's just by themselves. The other part the lead guitar goes into at this part, you'll recognize. All right, during that, all right, right after the lead guitar break, if you will, the bridge starts with 2 E minors and then 2 of the upper E minors, back to 2 E minors, back to 2 E minors, all right? And then we do our second G lick, but we're going to just stop the third time. Then we kind of hit 2 up and down on just the open first, second, and third string before we're into the next measure of the bridge. The next measure kind of continues with the one set of upper and lower E minors, except it's a down and then down up. Then we're going to do our regular G lick. The only difference is we're going to stop on the last 5 and hit the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string. So our G will sound like this. Then we're into the third measure of the bridge, all right, for the rhythm. Third measure of the bridge, different again. We're going to do our E minor inversion up here, down, 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 up. We'll do another set of that. Then we're going to switch to, take like a G chord, add a suspended. This is really an F, C form of F. I'm sorry, G. It's a G note. That would be our root note. But we're just playing 9th fret of the 4th string, barred on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, 8th fret on the 2nd string, and again barred on the 7th fret, 1st string. All right, so we're going to do that same rhythm, down, down, then down, up, 2 sets of that. Then we go back to our E minor for 1 set, and then to D. All right. Then we end with our G. That's the third measure of the bridge. Then we're into the horn solo. So the rhythm for the horn solo, I misspoke. I said it was like the bridge. Well, it's really more like the verse. We're going to go from our upper E minor to our lower E minor, and then our G lick with the 4 to 5. We'll do that once through. The second time, we're only going to do that G lick twice, and we'll end on that 5, just like we did earlier. All right, so we have this. For the first measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I went all through it. So you can see the difference there. We just stopped short. Again, you know, my notes I think will really help you in playing along with this. So we had the regular rhythm guitar start, and then we come in with this lick. I'm just going to go through the intro lick. I'll stop there. What we're doing, the 7th fret, 5th string, to the 5th fret of the 5th fret of the 4th string. Then we come back 7 to 5 on the 5th string to 7 on the 6th string. And then 5 and then 7 on the 5th string. Alright, so we have this so far. Then we come back through from 5. Then we go to 5 again on the 5th fret of the 6th string to 3. We'll hit 3 again and then 5 slid up to 7. Catching 5 on the 5th string to 7th fret on the 5th string pulled off to 5. Okay, so let's walk down to that G. 7, 5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we come back through. This time, and the only time he does it, is we're going to hit 6 and slide to 7 and catch 5. And the 5 on the 5th string really ends the intro lick, but the way I wrote it out, I put the 7 next, because if you're following this, he kind of hesitates after hitting that first 7. So, again, it's just how I've written it out. So, let's go up to the 5 and on the intro. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now we're going to start it again. The only difference here is we're going to be hammering in from 5 to 7 and pulling off from 5 to 7. He just changes it up a little bit with the rhythm. Kind of hammers in with, like I said, the feel of the song. So it'll sound, the verse 1 will sound like this. So you can see where the hammers are there, and we don't do any of the 6 to 7, so it's really a straight rhythm there. Let's do it at a medium speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see we're starting again with that 7. That kind of ends this first measure of verse 1, and off we go to the second measure. And it's just like the first. So those two measures, first two measures of the verse, are exactly the same. The third measure changes because we're getting ready to go into the pre-chorus. So with this third measure, it leads us into the pre-chorus. I'll play it for you and then we'll go over it. All right, we're going to start off from the 5 because we ended with the 7, 5, 7. All right, so we start with... So this is where he's singing, you know, so unique, and then he's getting ready, like I said, for the pre-chorus. So we're going to start out just like we have up through the G, and when we come back, sliding from 5 to 7, we'll hit 5 on the 5th string, and then hit 5 again, hammered into 7 with slightly held. All right, so it'll be different like this. I'll just take it from the beginning. So we're hitting 7, then 7 again to 5, then down to 3. So after we hit hit 3 on the 5th string, we'll hit it again, then hit 5, slid up to 7, catching 5 on the 4th string. Back to 7, then 5 with some vibrato. Then we're going to hit 5 and take off again, 7, slid up to 9, catching 7 on the 4th, back to 9 on the 5th. Then we come quickly up to G. We'll hit that twice here. Then one more time before we hit 7, slid up. From the 2 Gs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that's the difference with the third measure, the verse, and then we're into the pre-chorus. About the part we are here in the pre-chorus. So we're going to hit 7, and then 7 again to 5 and 3. So real cool lick there. Like I said, we start out 7 held and then 7, 5, 3. Then we're going to take off again, 3 hitting 5 on the 5th string, sliding up to 7. Then we hit 5 on the 4th string and then 7 pulled off to 5. Quickly catching 7 on the 5th string, back to 5th fret of the 4th string. Alright, so from the beginning to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we come back with a hammer on to 7. Basically the same lick. Once we hit that third time, we're going to come up referencing a D and then a C and then back to a D and back to a C. So this would be a D, 6th root. So we'll be on the 3rd string at 11 and the 1st string at 10. We're going to slide into 11, then catch the 1st string at 10, back to the 3rd string at 11. Then slide in again or just come back to referencing a C. And we go to D now. This would be 5th root D, all right? And what we'll do on the 3rd and 2nd string, both at the 7th fret and then 5th fret. All right, so all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, then we're into the chorus. So the riff during the chorus really kind of follows, again, the rhythm with some notes. We're going to hit 7 once, and then 7 3 times, then 7 twice, 7 3 times. Then this is on the 5th string. Then we'll go to the 5th fret of the 5th string, hit it twice, and then 3 times. So we have this. Back to 7 with a little vibrato. Now we'll take off from 5 here on the 4th string, slid up to, or hitting 7, slid up to 9, catching 7 on the 3rd string, back to 9, slid to 7, pulled off to 5. Then we come 7, 5. Let's just stop there, okay, because the rhythm starts taking off again. Alright, so to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the riff during the chorus really kind of follows, again, the rhythm with some notes. We're going to hit 7 once, and then 7 3 times, then 7 twice, 7 3 times. Then this is on the 5th string. Then we'll go to the 5th fret of the 5th string, hit it twice, and then 3 times. So we have this. And then back to 7 with a little vibrato. Now we'll take off from 5 here on the 4th string, slid up to, or hitting 7, slid up to 9, catching 7 on the 3rd string, back to 9, slid to 7, pulled off to 5. Then we come 7, 5. Let's just stop there, okay, because the rhythm starts taking off again. All right, so to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, at that point, we're going to hit 7 twice to 5, that's on the 5th string, to 5 on the 4th string, back to 7 twice on the 5th string. Then we're going to hit 7 real quickly to 5 twice, and then 5 3 times. Then we move up to our G lick. All right, this will be 2 hits on G, then 1 more hit before we hit 7 and slide up. All right, so the ending is kind of different too, because he's just playing a slow 5/7 there at the end of this. It's the only time he does that. But so as we take off from the G, we'll come up to 5 and our 5/7 to 5, where we would normally end it. But he comes 7/5 with some vibrato, so it'll sound like this to that point. He'll do that again, 7 to 5 from the 5th to 4th string. And then it ends 5 on the 4th string to 7, 5 on the 5th. So, like I said, you got to listen for the timing. This is played pretty quickly, but it's a real timing thing at this point. And again, if you can separate left and right channels, you'll really hear this. So that G lick to the end here of the 2nd measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and then we're back into another couple measures for the chorus. Of course, they're a little bit different. So the next measure, we're going to do a couple sets of the 7 to 5 and then our lick. So it'll sound like this. It's just going to be 2 hits this time on 7 and then 3 hits. 2 sets of that and then 1 set of 5. Now we'll do 1 more set of 7 before 3 hits on 5. Now what he does is take off from 7 on the 5th string. This is a new lick. So what we're doing is hitting 7, slid up to 9, then we're catching 7 on the 4th string, 9 pulled back off to 7, and then that's on the 4th string, to 9 on the 5th, 7 on the 4th, and landing on 9 on the 5th. All right, so from the 7 sets to 3 5s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we do our G lick to end it. All right, then we're into verse 2. Verse 2 is exactly like verse 1. The only difference is our G lick at the end of it does have 2 hits on the 3. And then we're into the pre-chorus. So that's the only difference. If you do it, fine. If you don't, no biggie. No biggie. You know, we're just jamming along here. So we got a pre-chorus, number 2. This really kind of follows exactly what we did with the first pre-chorus. Same with the timing and everything. So I'm going to play through it at a slower speed so you can see it. And then, like I said, it's the same as pre-chorus 1. So we have this. Chorus 2, much different from chorus 1. I'll go through it at a medium tempo, and then I'll show you the differences. Alright, chorus 2, I'll play through it at a medium tempo, and then we'll talk about it's much different from the other chorus. Take the 5th string, 7th fret, we'll hit that twice, then we'll hit it 3 times and repeat that twice more. Then we come to 5th fret and we'll hit that 3 times, one more time before we slide up and do a lick. So our lick here is going to be between the 5th and 4th string. We're going to slide from 7 to 9 on the 5th string, catching 7 on the 4th string, hitting 9 again, slid back to 7, and pulled off to 5. Then we just lay down and start that whole lick again, but on the 4th to 3rd string. Come 7, 5 before we come back to 7, twice on the 5th string. Then there's a hammer onto 7. So we hammer in and then hit 7 twice again. Before we come to 5 3 times, and then a lick from 7 to 9 on the 5th and 4th string. And then we finish off with the G. Then we come back 7 5, and then that's from the 5th to 4th string, then 7 on the 5th string pulled off, and we'll do very similar to our first lick. We'll hit 6 on the 5th string, slid up to 7, coming back to 5. Alright, so we have this. Let me do the whole thing slowly for you. 1 2 3 4. So the next measure of the chorus is just like the first measure we learned. Alright, the only difference here is he'll hit 7 to 5 from the 5th string to the 4th string twice, and then 5 once, back to 7 twice. We'll finish off with the G here with a 5 on the 4th string. The third measure of chorus 2, again, slightly different here, but well played. We're going to start out really the same with our counts on the 7 5, our first lick, and then come to the second lick, then it changes. Okay, so up to that point where it changes, 1 2 3 4. What we do when we get to 7 on the 3rd string is hit 9 pulled off to 7, come to 9 on the 4th, back to 7 on the 3rd, back to 9 on the 4th. Alright, so we have this. Let's take off from the 5 and so forth. Alright, so from the 5, 1 2 3 4. Then we've got to jump positions because we're going to come back and start kind of the rhythm again towards the end. We're going to hit 7 twice here on the 5th string to the 4th string at 5, back to 7 twice. Then we'll hit 7 to 5 twice. And then we'll take off again. And then we end it with our G lick up to the 4th string at 5. Then we're into the bridge. So that's the second course. Again, I know my notes will help a lot, but this is, once you get this down, it is a blast to play. So after chorus 2, like I said, there's a break and just the lead guitar doing this. Alright, so what we're doing, we're going to start out on the 6th string 3rd fret, open 5th to 2nd fret, open 4th to 2nd fret, and then back to open, landing on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Alright, now we're into the bridge. So for the bridge, what we're doing is going to be all based around this 7th position. So to start it out with, we'll be barring across the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings. Actually the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st. And we'll start out with our middle finger on the 8th fret, 2nd string, 9th fret of the 3rd string. And then we'll lift off and hit 7 with it off. We'll do that 5 times. Just catch 9 on the 4th string. Then we hit 7 and hammer in that 8 and 9. Alright, then back to 7. And then we're going to hammer into 9 and 8, but this will be on the 4th and 2nd string, not the 3rd and 2nd string. So let's take it from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to hit that, keeping our 9 and 8 down, referencing that G chord, okay? We're going to hit that another 4 times. And then we're going to slide from the 4th string, 7 to 9, catching 7 on the 3rd. So it's like the little, he's answering the vocals, and then he comes back in, just like we did. The second time through, he's going to hit the 10th root note, so you got to add your pinky to the 10th fret. Into the licks. So that's really how the second kind of measure of the bridge varies just a little bit. He's hitting that G root note before he hits the rest of the chord. Alright, so the first lick, it's more of a call and answer thing with the verse or the vocals. You'll hear him do will sound like this. Alright, so he's sliding on the 4th string, 7 to 9, catching the 3rd string at 7, and then hitting again, hammering into 9. Alright, then we're going to move up to the, watch your timing on this, he comes in a little bit early. You'll hear this. So we're going to bend up 14 and catch 15 from the 3rd to the 2nd string. Then we're going to take 14 again with a bend and release and pull off to 12, coming back to 14 pulled off to 12. Landing on 14 on the 4th string and then ending on 12 on the 3rd. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, second to last lick. So we're just going to slide in 7 to 9 again on the 4th string, catching 7 on the 3rd, and then we're going to hit the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string at 7. And then we finish off with our G lick, 2 hits. That is what you'll hear, the licks in the order that they're played, and then we're into the horn solo. So again, the horn solo, we've got the main rhythm guitar. Well, he does the this is why I said the bridge is kind of done again, because he's playing that bridge lick here. And then he does that again. So he plays it, ends up with that G pedaling off the 10th fret. Then you'll hear another overdub guitar. It happens too fast to really go to it, but I figured out it's just 14 bent up while you're catching 15 on the 3rd and 2nd string. And then you're into, again, this is post-horn solo, the outro bridge. The, like I said, bridge rhythm reprised outro is the same as the horn solo. We're just going to be pedaling off that G with the lick. Alright, and then we have some licks that take us out and finish the song. So the first lick you'll hear, just like what we've done earlier. Alright, so we learned that. Second lick's a little bit different. So he doesn't do a pull-off from 14, it's the second time. He'll catch 14 on the 3rd string, bend up and hit 15, and then he does 14 on the 3rd string, bend, release, pull off to 12, landing on 14 on the 4th. And then 12 twice to end on the 3rd string. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. The next lick we know. Then you'll hear him do this. And ends the song. So he kind of slides into the 6th string at 7, comes to 5 and 3, holds that slightly, and then ends with the takeoff from there. Alright, so the last thing we want to go over is the horn solo. Okay, horn solo, 2 measures long. It's going to start out on the 1st string, sound like this. Alright, so what we're doing, sliding in 1st string 5, hitting 3, then we move to 2 and hammer on to 3, pull off back to 2, and then to open. So we start like this. Then we go to the 2nd string, 3, 5, 3. Catch 4 on the 3rd string, back to 3, back to 4. And then it ends with open 2nd string, hammered onto the 3rd fret, and then back to open. Alright, the second measures have this. Okay, so 5 on the 1st string, slid in, 3 to 2, hammered on and pulled off from 3 back to 2 and open. Alright, now we're going to take 3rd fret of the 2nd string, hammer into 5, pull back off to 3. Then we're going to catch 4 to 3 from the 3rd to 2nd string twice and land on 4 to end. And then the last lick will be open 2nd string, hammered onto 3rd fret, back to open. So it's really fun to play because it sounds really cool. So yeah, that's the whole song. Again, my notes are available below. Slow it down, learn it, and follow the notes. I think you'll really enjoy playing this. I sure did. I enjoyed learning that Randy Montrose played this, God rest his soul. So I hope you guys enjoyed.